Kicking off in 2021 with a really big project. We have 4 rosin harvesting heads currently in our workshop. These are not easy to handle because they can weigh up to 4.5 tonne each. These harvesting heads cop a hiding doing what they do, and consequently they need a fair bit of maintenance, keeping them working as they should. We've been using these heads on different machines over the past few years, and recently, due to the purchase of other equipment, these heads have now been allowed to come in from the bush to be refurbed. We have another rosin 850 and a Satco currently working in our operation. In the next few months or so, they too will make their way back here for refurbishment, and 2 of these heads will head back to take their place. We go through them from start to finish. We reseal the valve banks, we rehose them, and we reseal the cylinders if required. We give them a fresh coat of paint, then we store them on a pallet ready for use at short notice. We have one of the bigger rosin 850s due to come in a few weeks' time. We use it to fall, load and bark logs with. Ethan is seen here applying the gloss black top coat and then reapplying the masking to do the white gloss. Mechanical harvesting is an expensive operation. The machines do a very good job because they can fall the trees exactly where you want them. More importantly, they make the job of timber cutting a whole lot safer. Just a bit of tidy up now, remove all the masking tape and then put them back on their pallet. Well, that's it, they're all finished and one's been fitted up to a harvester. Atlas Copco came in and did a major service on our compressors. As it was a planned shutdown and we thought it might take a day or so, we purchased another compressor and set it up just to run the dry mill while we worked on our main compressors. This Timbco 475E has just come in from the bush. It's had a major refurb, including most of the hydraulic hoses replaced, the valve bank completely resealed, all of the oil and the filters replaced. The hydraulic tank and the fuel tank were flushed out and thoroughly cleaned. A lot of general tidying up in the wiring and so on. The radiators were removed and thoroughly cleaned. The machine was then cleaned, sanded, undercoated and then painted in gloss black. Now this machine is fitted with the Sisu engine, so she runs really well. This Cat 535B log skidder has been brought into our workshop to have some service work done on it. We've changed out a few hydraulic hoses that we could see were a bit worn. We resealed a couple of the cylinders using genuine parts. We installed some new Cat batteries. We changed the oil in the filters. Then we thoroughly cleaned it and gave her a coat of new Cat yellow paint. The boys are removing this 5-inch sports muffler coupled to a 7-inch chrome stack. Now these fancy truck exhaust stacks are all good till you go logging. Then the rough roads shake them to bits. Now old mate is in the workshop stitching up the truck muffler. Now it's not easy TIG welding up an old exhaust pipe that's bent out of shape. It would have been easier to buy a new one, but we don't have the time. It's 5 p.m. and we have to repair this pipe quickly and get the truck mobile again for another trip to the bush early in the morning. So we're going to TIG weld this one up, then we're going to add another support bracket up a little bit higher. The problem is the low-hanging branches tend to knock these fancy pipes about. And because we love trees, we have a million low-hanging branches to drive under. So you can take these fancy pipes off, but they look good when the truck is parked outside the bakery early in the morning. The guys are doing some maintenance on this drying rack and making sure that it's safe. The team in the green mill had an absolute blinder the last few weeks and banged out about 50 packs along with their other orders. Each pack would average about 600 linear metres. Now we don't export a single stick. Every piece of timber we produce here is sold locally. You saw early on how we set up a smaller compressor, seen now in the picture, to run the dry mill while we did a major service on our big compressors. This allows us to run the dry mill standalone without the need to start the main sawmill up. We liked the idea so much that when this AirMac T55 came up for sale, we grabbed it. We picked it up at auction and we got it at the right price. We had this old frame laying around down the back, so we cut it down and made a stand for the compressor. By getting the compressor off the ground, we can keep it a bit cleaner and also protect it a little from forklifts backing into them. This compressor is about 15% bigger than the last one, so it'll give us plenty up our sleeve. Now we started the project just after lunch and we had it fitted up and fully operational by 6 p.m. Stay tuned, we have some really good projects coming up in the next session. We have a couple of dozers coming in, plus we have at least one excavator to have some work done on. We're also going to set up our workshop to make some new hydraulic cylinders. Now these cylinders are not easy to build. The cylinders have been designed in-house and will be built up in our workshop.